It looks like that we've got illegal foreigners or people who are being trafficked to our country coming from Palestine. And our government, they seems like not to know what is going on, and they look like they don't know how this plane got in our country. You ask yourself. So South Africa must just allow people to come in our country. They've got no documents. Their passports are not stamped. We don't know where they're coming. We cannot be sure. But South Africa must just open doors for people because they're claiming they're coming from Palestine. Guys, and I just want to make it clear, I'm not in support of Israel. And I don't want the Israel people in our country. We know what they've been doing. We know what they've been doing. We are not in support of Israel. But we are not in support with what is happening with these people who are being trafficked to come to our country, and we must say nothing. Why didn't they go to Egypt? Because Egypt is the closest country to them. Why didn't they go to Iraq? Why didn't they go to Libya? I want you to Google of it. Does Israel stamp passport? And the answer is no. Israel, as we speak, they don't give stamps. They will actually give you a receipt, a permit, a paper. I think that's what they're going to stamp. These people don't even have that permit. How sure are we these people are people from Palestine? These people are claiming they've paid a lot of money to come to South Africa. Who do they pay to? To these stupid NGOs. How is it our problem?
Into eyenzekile ngalama illegal kunabantu abasuka la eSouth Africa bona behle benyoba bevakasha ePalestine sibala kubona le dipando o baningi oKenneth Meshwe abadla imali o imithi yaSulumane we-gift of the givers badle imali yamaSulumane lawa sePalestine ne-international communities bazenza abantu abanespeaker lethi about imali kudayiswa ngezwe lethu kudayiswa ngambuku kodwa wonke umuntu othi isigebengu kade umbulali kade isosha kade ivula mbuso kade umshobezi.
The issue of the Palestinians who've been brought here is a matter, as I said, that we're paying attention to. We obviously need to look at the origins, where it started, the reason why they've been brought here. And ordinarily we would have said they should go back because they didn't have any documentation, but out of empathy, out of compassion.
According to Ramaphosa, they still need to verify the origin of these people. The Home Affairs knows exactly who are these people. Why didn't Ramaphosa address us when the first plane first landed in our country? We want to know, Mr. President, how many planes have already landed in our country? Why did the plane leave Kenya to South Africa? We want to know, why did the plane leave Kenya to South Africa?
This is not the first plane. This is the second plane. On the 28th of October, a plane arrived in Tambo airport. And, these people were displaced. They didn't know where to go. They had no contact numbers, no phone numbers. And a person called Nigel Bentley from the church found them and started putting them together with other civil society organizations.
I was informed of a group of Palestinians arriving 2 weeks ago. I was the first one to find one of the families. I went out to Rudaput. A man had been placed in an Airbnb, and he told me his story that this NGO called Al Majd had basically trafficked them out of Israel. And so we alerted the Department of International Relations. He told us there were 150 people.
They traffic people and take money from these people. And they want to make their problem our problem. Make it make sense. These people are busy trafficking people, collecting money. These NGOs. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on so much of this video. Could watching from South America, could watching from North America, could watching from Asia, you could watching from Australia, could watching from Europe, you could watching from Africa, the mother continent, you could watching from the Caribbean, you could watching from anywhere around the world. Professor, you bump it to my voice, you could Professor, you bump it to my face, you could Professor, you bump it to my YouTube channel. My name is Hlulani, the Tsonga Prince from South Africa, from Zanzibar for sure. You're probably asking yourself, what am I doing here? I'm here to talk about what's happening around my country. I'm here to talk about what's happening around Africa. I'm here to talk about what's happening around the world. world. But most of all, I am here to come and defend my country from those who think they can come to our country illegally. I will be the first defense force. From those who think they can come and corrupt our country, I will be the first defense force. From those who think they can come and work in our country illegally, I will be the first defense force. From those who think they can come and sell my white powder in our country, I will be the first defense force. More than 77% of you guys, you're watching my content, but you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel. I don't know what you're waiting for, so kindly hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so every time I upload my video, you're the first one to get my videos. But if you don't forget to subscribe, it is free, Kimahala, you pay nothing. So let's continue to hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to make as many videos as possible. Don't forget to hit that join button, become a member, contribute to the channel. Less than $2 or less than 30 rand, you can become a member and support the channel. For these 3 packages that you can choose, any package that you want to choose by faith. So please continue and support the channel. I also want to say thank you to my returning subscriber. I also want to say thank you to my new subscriber. I also want to say thank you to you who just subscribing right now, because I know you are hitting that subscribe button. My faith. Let's continue to support the channel, and so that I can continue to make as many videos as possible. So by faith, this is a video that I want to do. Yeah, I've been reading most of your comments. I've been seeing you, many of you guys, you are concerned about what's happening in our country. It looks like that we've got illegal foreigners or people who are being trafficked to our country coming from Palestine. And our government, they seems like not to know what is going on, and they look like they don't know how this plane got in our country. You ask yourself, how did the plane come to South Africa without our government knowing what's going on? But Fetu, we should be afraid to be South Africans. We are not safe in our own country. We are not safe in our own country, but Fetu. This is going out of order, because it seems like any country can just come to South Africa, do as they please, come illegally in our country, and once they're here, they start demanding a lot of things. Like these NGOs, there's a guy that I think I must continue to make more videos about that guy, who's been screaming his lungs out. And you ask yourself, where is our government? When this guy who's busy, I don't even know who he is. I'm going to put him also towards the end of this video. And I'm going to do other video, maybe tomorrow or maybe tomorrow or after tomorrow. I'm gonna continue to expose this guy, because I'm sitting and asking myself, who is this guy who's busy talking nonsense about our country? They bring these people from wherever they're coming from to our country and come and demand things. Apparently, there's also in the same plane there was a pregnant woman. There was a pregnant woman in that plane. And this guy seems like he wants to blame South Africa, because those people were left in that plane. So South Africa must just allow people to come in our country. They've got no documents. Their passports are not stamped. We don't know where they're coming. We cannot be sure. But South Africa must just open doors for people, because they're claiming they're coming from Palestine. Anybody who comes to this country illegally, we don't want you. Anybody who's going to come to this country illegally, we don't want you. You must follow the laws of this country. We cannot refute. I understand what's going on in Palestine, but we cannot have planes just coming left, right, and center, arriving in our country and not knowing what's going on. We cannot allow this. Guys, and I just want to make it clear, I'm not in support of Israel, and I don't want the Israel people in our country. We know what they've been doing. We know what they've been doing. We are not in support of Israel, but we are not in support with what is happening with these people who are being trafficked to come to our country, and we must say nothing. We must allow NGOs to take money from these people and traffic them to our country. And they must, then once they're in our country, it is our responsibility to make sure that they get all the documents. But we cannot allow this. We cannot allow the nonsense that is going on in our country. We cannot allow this. People cannot just come from wherever they're coming from. Ask yourself, where is Saudi Arabia in this matter? Because the people of Palestine, how many countries they've crossed to come to our country? They even went to Kenya. But they still proceed to come to South Africa. Everybody must come to South Africa, and we must keep quiet. But Fed, I promise you, we are not far away where our country is led by a foreigner. If we continue to allow this nonsense, our country soon, very soon, we will be led by a foreigner in this country. No doubt about that. We cannot continue. And these people, when they come here, they come and demand a lot of things. Sooner or later, they'll be telling us about their culture and their religion. In South Africa, we are sitting here and allowing everybody to come to our country and do as they please. With no documents, they come here and cry for things. Ask yourself, Egypt, why didn't they go to Egypt? Because Egypt is the closest country to them. Why didn't they go to Iraq? Why didn't they go to Libya? Why didn't they go to Tunisia? Why didn't they go to Morocco? Why travel 9,000 kilometers? 9,000 kilometers to arrive to South Africa. And South Africa, we must keep quiet. We understand what they're going through in their country. But they should be traveling to the nearest country. They should be traveling to the nearest country. But here they are. They're in South Africa as we speak. They've got no stamps. Some of them don't even have documents. We're hearing some of them, they do have passports. And one thing by faith is this. Everybody want to talk about the stamp. I want you to Google a faith. Does Israel stamp passport? And the answer is no. Israel, as we speak, they don't give stamps. They will actually give you a receipt, a permit, a paper. I think that's what they're going to stamp. These people don't even have that permit. How sure are we these people are people from Palestine? How sure are we that we are not? Because let me tell you, other countries are watching. Oh, this is what we can do. Just send people to South Africa. Just traffic people to South Africa. And South Africa will take care of them. The government of South Africa will take care of them. This is not the richest country, my friend. Let us be honest. We are struggling. We are having our own issues. We are having our own problems. Our problems have been added by all of these countries all over the world. We can't keep quiet. They should be traveling to Egypt. They should be traveling to Syria. They should be traveling to Iraq. They should be traveling to Libya. They should be, we cannot accept this for faith. They should be traveling to Saudi Arabia. They should be traveling to Egypt. They should be traveling to Iraq. They should be traveling to Libya. Enough is enough, my faith. They traveled that far to come to South Africa. And they are trafficked by these NGOs. These NGOs are making money out of these people. They're saying they've paid a lot of money. Who did they pay to? And now it must become our problem. These people are claiming they've paid a lot of money to come to South Africa. Who do they pay to? To these stupid NGOs. How is it our problem? But let me play you these clips of it. Watch these clips. People are angry. People are angry with whatever's happening in our country. And our president is very relaxed. It's like it is as business as usual. But let me play this couple of clips.
Into eyenzekile ngalama illegal kunabantu abasuka la eSouth Africa banophehle benyoba bevakasha ePalestine sibala kubona le dipando baningi oKennedy Meshwe abadla imali imithi yaSulumane gift of the givers badle imali yamaSulumane lawa sePalestine ne-international communities bazenza abantu abanesifika lethi about imali kudayiswa ngezwe lethu kudayiswa ngambulu kodwa wonke umuntu othi isigebengu kade umbulali kade isosha kade ivula mbuso kade umshobezi bazongena ezweni lethu bafowethu sithi sekwanele enough is enough with the illegal undocumented for no matter where they come from abahambe sithi abahambe
In regard to the flight that is carrying the people from Palestine, you did mention that it appears as if they are being flushed out.
Yeah.
I just want to understand whether it is your understanding that it is the government of Israel that has brought them here. But given the fact that we may not know whether they will bring more people, are we in a position, do we have a program perhaps to deal with the possibility of that influx if they were to bring more? Lastly, I mean, you're also president of the ANC. Today, the matter is before the Supreme Court of Appeal, where you as the party are challenging the fact that the MK party is using your symbols and all that. Some people are saying you possibly are just oxygenating the MK party. Is it worth it?
Well, the issue of the Palestinians who've been brought here is a matter, as I said, that we're paying attention to. We obviously need to look at the origins, where it started, the reason why they've been brought here. And ordinarily we would have said they should go back because they didn't have any documentation. But out of empathy, out of compassion, and because they are a people that we as South Africa have raised our hands to support, we felt that we should accept them and process their matter. So their matter is being processed, we are discussing it, our intelligence agency is involved, and the Home Affairs is involved, and DERCO is also involved. So we're going to do a proper evaluation and see what the future portends when it comes to this. So we will be dealing with it, and as I said, we will make an announcement so that the people of South Africa know precisely what is happening and how this matter came to be where it is.
So the government, they don't know the origin of these people. According to Ramaphosa, they still need to verify the origin of these people. But if a flight flew into our airport without the government not knowing who are these people, we are not safe in our country of it. Anybody can fly and get in our country without our government knowing what is going on, what's going on. This is nonsense. I'm asking myself, how many planes are still coming? How many planes have already landed in our country? We are hearing that there was that other one that arrived on the 28th of October. Is that the only plane that arrived? Because it seems like there are people who are collecting money to bring illegal foreigners in our country, to traffic people in our country, and we must keep quiet. You heard Ramaphosa. He does not know who are these people. They still need to confirm. The Home Affairs still need to confirm. The Home Affairs knows exactly who are these people. Because this is not the first plane. And why did a Minister of Home Affairs not address us when the first plane came in? Why did not the President address us when the first plane came in? Because this one has been leaked. And he's claiming that he's going to be addressing the people of South Africa. We don't have a president in this country. This country has been run by cartels. This country has been run by criminals. Why didn't Ramaphosa address us when the first plane first landed in our country? We want to know, Mr. President, how many planes have already landed in our country? How many planes are still coming? I'm hearing, I saw some people saying, there's still more than 3,000 of them coming to our country. I cannot confirm that. But I read somewhere that there's still 3,000 people are still coming to our country. And let me tell you, the first plane, they said they wanted to be reunited with their family. They first came here and they start calling their family to come in. This second plane come in, and the same people on this plane, they're going to be crying that they left their families. They want them to be coming here. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because it will never end. South Africa is not the nearest country to the Palestine. Egypt is the nearest country. Saudi Arabia is the nearest country. Libya, they are the nearest country. Morocco, Tunisia. But people travel 9,000 kilometers. They even went to Kenya. But they could not ask for asylum in Kenya. If indeed they were looking for asylum, why didn't they ask for asylum in Kenya? Because they were in Kenya. Why didn't they get asylum in Kenya? These people have an agenda to be here in this country. These people are not looking for asylum. Why did the plane leave Kenya to South Africa? We want to know, why did the plane leave Kenya to South Africa? And why did the Kenyan allow that plane to land in the country? And why did the South African government allow this plane to land in our country? Who's collecting money? Who is collecting money and who's trafficking people to our country? Who is trafficking people to our country? And our president knows nothing. The minister of health knows nothing. Ministers of government knows nothing. Our leaders knows nothing. The GNU knows nothing. The DA knows nothing. This is rubbish, Bafet. Let me play you the next clip. Let me play you the next clip. And people playing mind games. And this Dr. Solomon, this guy is going to get in my nerve. Because he's the only one, and the NGOs who knew about these things. He's the only one and the NGOs who knew about whatever's happening because they've been communicating with these people. These NGOs are collecting money. And I'm hearing some of them are doctors and what. They're going to be taking our jobs in our country. If you're a doctor, you must know there are more doctors that are bringing in our country. Let me play you the next clip.
Let's now take you to this. The Gift of the Givers, Imtiaz Suleiman, has released a statement thanking DIRCO, DG Zain Dango and Minister Ronald Lamola for receiving Palestinian refugees who arrived on a flight to Johannesburg this morning. Dr. Suleiman says Gift of the Givers, with other civil society partners, will provide humanitarian assistance. Let's now get more details from Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman. Dr. Suleiman, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for your time. So we saw the statement where you are thanking DIRCO and, of course, Minister Lamola for facilitating this arrival of Palestinian refugees. Just speak to us and expand on just the scale of the humanitarian assistance your organization, Gift of the Givers, is providing to these refugees and what their immediate needs are at this stage.
Good afternoon. You know, these people have been very traumatized, but there's a back-end story to this. This is not the first plane. This is the second plane. On the 28th of October, a plane arrived in Tambo airport, and, you know, these people were displaced. They didn't know where to go. They had no contact numbers, no phone numbers. And a person called Nigel Bentley from the church found them and, you know, started putting them together with other civil society organizations, and members of my team got involved. I'm not sure how they found them, where they were displaced. There were 176 of them, and then some of them went back to other countries. The family members of this first group then told us yesterday that their family members are coming on the second plane, and nobody knew about that plane. And it seems from their feedback, Israel is voluntarily removing people from Gaza. You know, this is ethnic cleansing at its best, and taking away their goods, their hygiene packs, their food, sending them onto chartered planes, and government has to investigate how people are coming on chartered planes without stamps. Israel did not stamp their passports, so they're sort of traveling illegally, brought into South Africa, and the second plane came in this morning at 8 o'clock. The border management authority didn't allow them to get off the plane, simply because they were following the rules, that there is no stamp on the passport. And I mean, they were trying to follow rules and not get into trouble for the stamp. I got hold of Zain Dango. He's in Canada. Of course, he spoke to the minister and other people in DIRCO. I spoke to the Border Management Authority, other people involved in this issue, and it was about the stamp. And of course, now this afternoon, the minister is writing to the Minister of Home Affairs, because that's his policy or his portfolio, to waive the stamp requirement. So these people then could come into the airport and come to the country and seek asylum. What's worrying for me is, why should DIRCO be writing to Home Affairs when Home Affairs themselves could have realized that this is a humanitarian crisis and they could have waived that requirement themselves without waiting for a letter to come from DIRCO? In any case, they're hungry, there's a pregnant woman, there's children, they were caught in that plane for 8 to 10 hours, perspiring, the haze is soaked, the plane is in a terrible condition, no proper, the one toilet or two toilets is not enough, and those people are really distraught, coming from 2 years of genocide. We've provided meals, and it's not only us. Civil society organizations are getting involved. A lot of people have already offered food, clothing, medical support. Our medical teams did see the first team that came a few days ago, and now they are ready to check the second team out. And also, people have offered houses, and lots of people want to get involved. So we're very grateful for South Africans. We're grateful for the government for making this happen, in keeping with our policy of taking Israel to the ICC and to ICJ, and of course getting countries in Bogota to put sanctions against Israel. So we really appreciate the efforts of our government. It's just that the Border Management Authority had to follow the mandate, because these are civil servants. They can't do what they want. They have to follow the law. And the minister should have waived this thing even before the plane landed.
Yeah. Just speak to us then about those that have arrived, Dr. Suleiman, in terms of just what the immediate logistics are. I know you spoke about how they will be housed, in certain private homes, but in the main, what is the plan going forward?
Well, we asked for a holding room at OR Tambo. Most important is to give these people comfort and reassurance that they're safe. I mean, they're sitting on a plane for now probably 10 to 12 hours, 10 hours. And, it's difficult for them. They're not sure where they've come, what the issue is. But fortunately, some of their family members are on the other plane. We've got Palestinians in South Africa, which we are now going to send to the airport to receive these people. We will house them in inverted commas house at the airport. We've just arranged food and drinks for them. And from there, we will move them to houses which have already been arranged for them. But first, when we move them to a common spot, we'll get medical teams to look at them. Because of 2 years of genocide, we're not sure the level of the state, what the state is like. And they're totally traumatized. They will need psychological support, but those in stages. Right now, get them off the plane, get them food and water, move them to homes, get the medical guys to see them, let them relax, let them be sure that they're safe and they're fine, and thereafter we'll continue with the other process.
And
My faith, this guy's just complaining and complaining and complaining. He's saying that his first complaint is that they had 2 toilets in the plane when they were still kept in the plane for 12 hours. I mean, I don't understand this man. What does he expect our border control to do when people are coming to a country with no documents, when people are coming to a country with no stamps? So our border controls must just open the gates and allow people to get in our country. Just because they're saying that they're from Palestine, we must just open up the gates and allow them to come to our country. That cannot happen. There's laws that must be followed in this country. There are laws that must be followed in this country. He comes again and pushes this propaganda. He knows that in Israel, there is no stamps that are made. Google it, my friend. Go Google it yourself. Go ask Google, does the Israel gives, does the Israel stamp passports? The Israel does not stamp passport. They will actually give you a permit. They will give you a receipt. They will stamp in that receipt, but not in your actual documents. He knows these things, but he comes and pushes this propaganda nonsense. He comes here and mislead our people. He knows this. He knows this. And he comes here because our government are doing nothing. These are the people who are bringing these people. How did he know about these people who are coming to our country when our government don't know? How come these NGOs and these nonsense people, they know about this place when we know nothing about this, whatever's going on in our country? Who are these people that they know more than the government? Who are these people who knows more than what our ministers knows about what's going on in our country? if we are not being fooled? And why did Minister of Home Affairs say nothing when that first plane came to our country? These people, they think that we are fools. These people travel 9,000 kilometers to come to South Africa. These people are being trafficked. These people have been trafficked. These people are being trafficked to our country. This country must just help everyone. How many people are we going to bring in this country? We are going through a lot as a country. How come even our country don't have even a number of people that we can accept in the country? To say, look, if we have accepted 10,000, we cannot take more than 10,000. How come our country does not have a limit of refugees? How come our country does not have a limit of asylum seekers? How come we don't have a limit to say we cannot take any more? We don't even have refugees camp where these people are supposed to be going. But these people, you know, they take people from war zone and integrate them with the community. Make it make sense, Bafet. These people come from war zone. You take the people, you just put them in hotels, you just put them everywhere in the country. Bafet. Yeah, our country, I don't understand, Bafet. And when we talk, they're going to say we talk too much. When we talk, they're going to call us names. Let me play the next clip. There's this guy's also complaining a lot, talking too much. Talking too much. This next clip, let me play the next clip.
When I arrived on the plane, there was a pregnant woman, 9 months pregnant, literally at the point of giving birth. And sorry, it's quite emotional. She was going down the stairs and just in a lot of pain, discomfort. When I came onto the plane, it was excruciatingly hot. There were lots of children just sweating and screaming and crying. We walked into this tube that's been on the air, on the runway, that has been on the runway all day. Right. Fortunately, with the evening coming in now, it's a little bit cooler. At about 3 o'clock, they allowed some people off on the plane to go and go to the toilet. There is no toilet on the plane. And the conditions are just atrocious. I do not believe that this is what South Africa is about. South Africa should be letting these people into the airport at the very least and letting them apply for asylum. This is their basic fundamental right. It's guaranteed in our constitution that we will comply with these international laws. It's in international law and it's in our domestic law. We should be giving these people asylum.
And how do they ultimately get onto a plane with gaps in their documentation, these stamps that are now ultimately holding up their transit?
So this in itself is also outrageous. And this is the second plane that has landed. I was informed of a group of Palestinians arriving 2 weeks ago. I was the first one to find one of the families. I went out to Rudaput. A man had been placed in an Airbnb, and he told me his story that this NGO called Al-Majd had basically trafficked them out of Israel. And so we alerted the Department of International Relations. He told us there were 150 people on that plane. Over the course of the week, we then managed to track down probably about 105 of those people. We were informed by border management that 59 had taken flights to third countries. And so we started working with the families. We worked with a number of aid agencies to find out their stories. And this is the story. And let me just explain. Basically, people went through the Karim Shalom crossing. So first of all, they were phoned in the middle of the night. And
Nigel, I think you've muted yourself. So let's see if we can get your audio going. We lost you just about when you said they left through the Karim Shalom crossing, received calls in the middle of the night. As you tell that part of the story, who called them? And you also used the word trafficked for the previous group. Is that how you would characterize what's happened here?
As they're trying to target some of the richest and most influential people, the people we've come in contact with are doctors, teachers, medical personnel. I've met dentists, I've met professionals, people who've had businesses. and they've had to pay a lot of money to an NGO that's very dubious that operates out of the UAE. Some of the initial investigations that we've done have showed that the website, if you go and have a look at yourself, you'll see that a lot of the website is artificial intelligence generated, and this is Al Majd Europe. And so what happened was they went to the buses in the morning. They were told, the previous group, to leave their bags behind. They got to the Karim Shalom crossing. They were then told to leave every possession behind. We had people who were taken.
This guy talks too much of it. Dr. Solomon says there were 2 toilets in that plane. It's like it is our problem. We do not give them that plane. We do not give them that plane. They came with that plane, but they want to make that plane to be our problem. They want to make the plane to be our problem. Mr. Solomon said there's 2 toilets in that plane. This man comes and said there was no toilets in that plane. Talking rubbish. Our government is allowing nonsense. Our government is allowing nonsense. Allowing these NGOs people to come and speak and go and lie to the rest of the world. Now it is our problem. Now it becomes our problem. We become the talking point. We become the talking point. When they traffic people in our country, we become the talking point. Enough is enough. Our government is selling out our country, man. We cannot sit and allow people do as they please. They traffic people and take money from these people. And they want to make their problem our problem. Make it make sense. These people are busy trafficking people, collecting money. These NGOs are busy collecting money and trafficking people to South Africa. And we must keep quiet. We must keep quiet because we must say they come from war zones. Enough is enough. Enough is enough about these people. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, Buffett. We cannot sit and allow these people and do as they please. These people, they should be going to the nearest country. We are 9,000 kilometers away from Palestine. And we're not saying that we don't want the Palestinian. But people must come in with documents. We're saying no to illegal people. We're saying no to traffic people. We cannot accept this. Our country cannot accept this. Buffett, how many planes are still coming? How many planes have already arrived in South Africa? Because the first one, they did not tell us. They did not bother to tell us. How many planes did Sharp come to this country? Coming from Palestine or coming from Israel? Buffett, you can go Google it. These things of the passport stamps, it doesn't work in Israel. There's no one who's going to stamp you. This is not the first time they're doing these things. They don't stamp passport. Google it yourself, you'll see. They don't stamp passport. They'll actually give you a permit. They'll stamp your permit. Or they give you an electronic gate pass. Enough is enough. Our fate, we cannot accept this. Every country must just come and do as they please in our own country, and we must keep quiet. We cannot keep quiet. We cannot keep quiet. We are going through a lot as a country. We are going through a lot as a country. Everyone wants to come to South Africa. Everyone wants to come and claim Islam in South Africa. They travel, they cross many countries. Imagine this plane was in Kenya. They still proceed. Why didn't they ask an Islam in Kenya? Why didn't the passport been stamped in Kenya? Because they want to leave the responsibility to South Africa. Everyone want to dump everybody in South Africa. Nobody want to take any responsibility. Everybody want to dump people in South Africa. Everybody want to traffic people in South Africa. And we must keep quiet. We are not going to keep quiet. We are not going to allow our country to get destroyed. We are not going to allow criminal cartels to traffic people in our country, to destroy our country, and we keep quiet. And our government, Ramaphosa, he takes this thing so like it's nothing. He does not care about our safety. This president does not care about our safety. The Home Affairs Minister does not care about our safety. The DA does not care about our safety. It is their responsibility to guard our borders. It is the DA's responsibility to guard our borders. It is the DA who's in charge of Home Affairs. Wafet, let me cut this video here. I might make another video, but because this last guy that I just put his clips here, there's more videos about him. This guy must be investigated. Who is this guy? This guy must be investigated because he's pushing so hard. He's pushing so hard to document people who we don't even know. The government need to investigate this man because he might be one of the people who are busy collecting money. How did you even know about the person in the hotel? There might be the people who are collecting money from these people. Perfect. I'll see you in my next video. Sharp, sharp.